us up on the SpongeBob training video music.
That's...
Bum, bum, bum.
No, we're going to start now, just with our words. Hey, everybody. Welcome to MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I hope you guys are out and about enjoying the sunshine. It's beautiful out there. It's a beautiful weekend. Usually Memorial Day weekend is garbage. And so last week was pretty much rained out. So a lot of times I'd like to think of that the last 2 weekends switch places.
Yes. So I actually walked in today because it was so nice out, and I didn't have my car. But
still,
I would have liked to walk either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I drove here, so whatever.
Oh wow! Someone doesn't care about the environment, Scott.
For not doing something, and then when you hear about folks who fly like those private jets just so they can go to In-N-Out Burger, and it's like, oh, so that one flight is basically my lifetime of driving. Essentially, that's how the math works out, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Oof. Anyways, energy. Well, we're talking about a lot of different things happening here at the Missoula Public Library. This summertime, we're doing some camps with the kiddos. MCAT is hosting camps between our filmmaking camp, horror movie camp, documentary camp, and animation camp. Not all in that order, but happening this summer starting in July.
Yeah, we still have some slots open in our documentary and horror camp.
Yep, the horror camp is definitely geared for older kids, but also geared for some of the kids who've done our past camps and have some kind of prerequisite of working with us as well.
And in our documentary camp, kids will learn not only the art of documentary, but mockumentary as well.
Yep, have some fun with making short films, making it real and then having that concept of building narration around interviews and more. Yeah,
we should totally do some PG true crime.
Yeah.
And then he stole my crayons.
Yeah, and then I think one thing I definitely want to do too is probably do a mock press conference too. I think that'll be fun. We haven't done those in a couple of years.
It's been a while since we've done a press conference.
The only one, we did it almost 8 years ago, and that was the last time we did it, and kids keep talking about it still, which is why? But still, whatever. Some kids have those kind of experiences, and they're just like, that was the best thing ever. It was fun. We're all just goofing around and pretending to do gotcha journalism. Yeah. And why not? That's fun. It's we got you. It's got me what? I don't know. Whatever.
How could you have been playing the PS3 when the PS3 doesn't have any games?
Exactly. Was that a weird transitional console at that time?
Oh, yeah. So it was a notoriously hard console to develop for.
Right.
So, and Xbox beat it to market. So, there was a while where the PlayStation's library just wasn't very big.
Right.
Kind of what's happening to the Switch 2.
Because I know that PlayStation 2, it had so much life well past 3 and even parts of PS4.
And that's all the game library right there.
Yeah, they put too much in the second one that the third one was basically just reverse engineered the second one into better graphics, which, is usually not the best thing to do when you think about it. I mean, look at what Valve is doing with all the Steam stuff with their Steam machine, and so part of their biggest selling point is basically being able to stream your game from anywhere. So you can keep your console at home and then you can just stream it online, which is a pretty clever way of doing it. Yeah. But then when you start talking about streaming online, all that kind of stuff, it's okay, then you have internet, then you have other subscriptions to the streaming. Can you imagine in the future that at some point a game you buy is a game that you just technically just pay a subscription for just to play it?
Yeah.
They already do that technically.
Xbox. Game Pass.
Yes, Game Pass, and PlayStation has their own version of that too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Nintendo has those nostalgic videos.
Yeah, Nintendo Online, you can subscribe and play Pokemon Fire Red.
Pretty much.
Or The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time.
Yep. What is your opinion? I tried to play the Mystery Dungeon Red for the Game Boy Advance on the Switch or whatever.
I've never played the Mystery Dungeon games.
I tried to play it, and it's very much like you are the character, and it's like a dungeon crawler. It's basically the Mystery Dungeon. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But the controls are terrible.
Did you ever play Pokemon Ranger?
No.
That's one. I didn't have a DS as a kid, and that's one I always wanted the DS for. But I only ever played it when Walmart had the demo game consoles. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, Walmart had demo consoles, so I'd be like, yeah, I'm playing Pokemon Rangers. Oh, what, this other one has Diddy Kong Racing?
Yeah.
I love Diddy Kong from hit game Donkey Kong Country.
I remember going to Hastings and cranking my neck up just to look at the screen where I was playing Uncharted on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly like that. GameStop used to do it too, and that's where I first played the Arkham game.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stuff and the good demos. I mean, I haven't been to a game store in a while too, because I think the unfortunate nature of online shopping, online things, has kind of killed the physical gaming industry in a lot of ways.
You know, it's a few years back. I waited in line for Tears of the Kingdom for the midnight release.
Yes,
and that was great. Honestly, I was like. I grabbed it and I was like, oh, I can't wait to play this, and this is fun, and I like that I went to a place to get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite the event too, just to be those kind of like everyone's there for the same reason, everyone's on the same page, going for something.
It's like, wow, this must have been so cool in like 2006.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close to June now. It's happened in a blink of an eye. It just kind of went on and happened and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you excited for your movie?
Very excited. Getting a little nervous. It's coming right up.
It really is. It's like almost like literally 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's my directorial debut.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited, and you want to look out for it. It came from the well.
Yep, that's right.
So look out for that. We're not going to spoil too much about it, but it is a horror film.
Yeah, if you like classic haunted house movies and you like classic slashers, this is the movie for you.
And also happening this summer is the Missoula City Band, and so we have Gary Gillette, who hosts a guest on his. Basically, we did a talk show with him, and he was the host of his very own show promoting the Missoula City Band. And so, without further ado,
wait. The Missoula City Band?
Yes, the Missoula City Band. All right, here's a clip, and check it out.
Comrades, it's a great German march by Karl Teike, and it's a shout out to the old fellow that conducted the band before me. He did it since from World War II until I took it over, and I've been. Maybe I'll do it till World War III. No, that's a shout out. That was his favorite bit. That's what he identified with.
What a great tradition that is.
And that's why we do it. It just drives the band crazy because it's not an American march, and it's European march tempo and everything about it. He was a White Russian. It's taken me a long while to be able to remember that and kind of understand what a White Russian was. You know, I got look it up in the history books. I'll do a whole show on it some other time. And then a number of things that are similar. And then every year we have something new. And every concert we have guest soloists. So this time we've got a guest group, which is the Garden City Strings. And they'll do some stuff on their own. And then we'll do stuff together like we did last year. And it was such a hit last year that we couldn't not do it this year. What are you guys going to play as a string ensemble?
Good question. I'm not entirely sure what the lineup will be for that performance, but some of the things that we played recently, and we had our recital just a few nights ago, which it'd be great if we could share the link to the video of that when this goes out.
Heck yeah.
That there's recording available. Ron, your videographer guy and recording artist.
Wait, I thought he was personal.
No, he came in.
He's two-timing
me? He came and
me?
worked with us. Yeah, he took care of our concert. It's okay. It's on YouTube already and on the group's Facebook page, and if you guys can share it too, that would be fantastic.
Heck yeah.
We started with Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody and playing a sort of condensed version of that. So this gives you a little idea of the variety that you might hear.
And we're doing that combined. Don wrote band parts for it.
Excellent.
And because he knows how much I abhor the song.
Is that right? No?
I just heard it so much in it.
Wow.
I'm just not a fan of the song. I've had to do it a number of times. Don brought it up, and I kind of went, gee. He said, hey, it's really short. I've shortened this whole thing up so the pain will be short-lived.
Yes.
And so we're going to do it together.
Yes. I think it's going to turn out great. It's
I hope
a classic.
So.
You know, people love that song.
They do. Yeah. The population loves it, and I'm going to let Don do the conducting.
Right.
So I can go out and
plug
suffer.
your ears. So that's one of the tunes that we do. We also I don't know if we'll play this with the City Band, but one of the wonderful songs we played was Mozart's Andante in C, I believe is the correct title of it. And we had a wonderful flutist named Nikki Stevenson,
Nikki, yeah.
who I'm sure you know.
Yep, former student.
She plays the cello with the group, and then when needed, stepped up to play flute for this, and it was really quite beautiful. Her performance was just exceptional. So that's another example of the kind of thing that we're playing with the Garden City Strings. So you get your Mozart and you get your Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, and then we'll finish the concert up. They'll play another 1 or 2 tunes, just them, and the band will sit at this wonderful stoic and attentive background as the strings play, and they do the same for us. It's a very brotherly and sisterly type of situation. And then at the very end, we'll play together the guaranteed piece for the standing ovation. You play the state song.
Right.
Missoulians know to stand up for the state song. They know that the Star Spangled Banner. Wait, will you do the Star Spangled Banner together? Maybe not. I think there'll be a singer for the Star Spangled Banner. But we'll end with Montana, and the group knows. Here we go. We stand up.
On your
everyone.
feet.
Montana, and Don wrote string parts for it last year as well. So we'll do it all together. Same thing with the Stars and Stripes.
All right, so there's a little taste of our own Gary Gillette, the director of the Missoula Summer City Band, Missoula City Band, that they do it in Bonner Park. They'll be kicking off with their big band concert for jazz, big band, all that stuff on the 17th of June, and then the Garden City Strings will join the Missoula City Band on the 24th of June for their 7:30 concert.
Are you playing in the city band this year?
Not the beginning parts of it, but I'm going to be playing it in July.
Nice.
We have that conference we're going to at the end of the month.
Yes.
So I have that one with a couple of our board members here at MCAT. So I'm going to Madison, Wisconsin for the 50th anniversary of the Cable Franchise Act of 1976, and this was a big deal for a lot of nonprofits, and well, mostly public access television stations.
Do you like public access television? Do you even know what it is?
What is public access television, Neil? Tell me.
Well, public access television is a long and storied practice in which anyone can put their program of choice, made by themselves, on TV.
But do you actually have to have a camera, editing software to even produce programs?
Of course not, dummy.
What? You can sponsor programs?
I mean, sponsor programs.
I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but
yeah, you can also come on down to MCAT here on the first floor of the Missoula Public Library, and we actually check out cameras, studio space, and editing software.
Awesome.
For you to be able to create whatever program you want. A TV show.
Yes.
A movie.
All that stuff.
A documentary.
Cool.
An animation. A commercial? No.
Nope.
No commercials.
We're non-commercial by nature, but we're always looking for talented, artsy individuals looking to spread their talent and use MCAT as a resource to have a good stepping stone. A lot of our people in town have used MCAT to record their open mics and as a tool and as a method for them to get more gigs.
That's
and
right.
So Dylan, who's been producing many of the MCAT music, if you ever get a chance, you can subscribe to that channel and see a lot of the local musicians here in town promoting that music and just kind of showing off. And a lot of times when you're trying to promote yourselves, you have to have a link to your video so people know what your sound is like. And so it is a great way for people for that vein of things. And also, if you're interested in the radio station, you're listening to 101.5 KFGM. You can go to 1015kfgm.org for more information, MissoulaCommunityRadio.org as well. Both links send you right to the website where you can listen to this live anywhere in the world. And then the radio signal goes out miles from Bonner, Frenchtown, and beyond. So there's a lot of great places here.
Yeah. Yeah, the Full Power Radio.
Full Power Radio, FM 101.5. And part of this is like we do a lot of civil engagement here at MCAT as well. We're the ones usually documenting a lot of things that are happening in Missoula. Per request, people ask us to go out and shoot their this and that, their causes, their civic meetings, their congressional forums for anybody looking to run. You did one in Clinton.
I did one in Clinton, yes.
And that was for the 93rd district. So that a bunch of candidates go in there. So we got a chance to do that. We also do some community council meetings and also the official city council for the city of Missoula.
That's right. It's official. We are the city council recording people.
Yep, we're C-SPAN for Missoula.
Yeah. That.
And a little bit more fun too. We're
Yeah.
The amalgamation of MCAT is more than just one thing. We're multiple things.
Multifaceted.
And we have another clip for you guys as well. And I wanted to put this as a lead up. Is the Kootenai Lodges just launched a tenants union last Thursday along the same lines of Travois and Harvey. Tenants fighting against rate hikes. The bad guys in the situation is Axia, which is an out-of-state private equity firm purchasing many mobile homes and systematically hiking up their rent as much as 100%. Missoula's tenant union has been a real rock stars, united many of these organizations against Oak, the Texas-based company that met with tenants of Travois, and I haven't heard anything from Harvey, but I'm pretty sure that they got to that point. But and also a big part of tenants in the state of Montana, I'm sure you heard about this. This is the first time in 50 years that tenants went on strike in Bozeman. So Bozeman launched their first tenants strike in 50 years. And also wanted to give a shout out to North Star Tenants, who also came to the city of Missoula a couple weeks ago to decry that their rents are going up as well. And so they are yet probably another candidate that may or may not be looking to unionize through the Missoula Tenants Union. So here's a clip from the Kootenai Lodges Tenant Union launch party and talking about some of the local residents of that village and lodge to talk about their experiences.
About my personal difficulties that are happening to my family and I, and how the increases to our lot rent have affected us. Now I'm trying not to get too emotional because I found myself being very vulnerable when I got ready for this. Well, we came to Missoula and began paying rent at $500 a month about 2 years ago, and now it is $750 a month, and the new tenants that will come in will have to pay $1,000 to $1,100 a month. This makes it almost impossible to sell our homes. And that's not right. Ooh, that gives me goosebumps. In my case, and I say this hesitantly because I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me. I feel sorry for myself enough. In my case, I've had 5 bypass open heart surgery. I was a cancer survivor. I have stage 3 kidney failure. I had 4 strokes, and I have a little type 2 diabetes. And it's very difficult to deal with this, everything going on in my physical life, and then wondering if rent is going up again causes even more stress. And that's not right. That's not right. We are on how many are on Social Security here? Okay, listen to this. We are on Social Security, and we got a whopping 2% cost of living raise that hardly pays for the raise in Part B of Medicare. As a matter of fact, my wife lost $2 a month on her benefits, and I gained $17. So we wound up making $15 a month more a month. That's great cost of living. Yeah, that's not right. That's an extra one. I didn't have that in here. Getting me all jacked up here. I truly am at a loss as to what to do. Those individuals, Axia, had the nerve to tell me, well, why don't you go check out the Montana housing? And then I wanted to say, why don't you put it in your ear? Maybe a little lower, but I wouldn't say that. Montana housing has a...
All right, so that was a little taste of the launch party for the tenants union over at Kootenai Lodges. This is the one that's kind of like just next to the Mullen Station. Not the Mullen Station, sorry, the Hellgate store. Everyone calls it the Hellgate store, but it's kind of near those areas up down Mullen Road. So, yeah, trailer parks unite, you know?
That's right. You know what's something that's really cool about Missoula, Scott?
What's cool about Missoula?
Is that you can raise chickens in city limits.
Yes.
And so, I just saw this on Reddit. So if anybody's interested in having chickens on their property here in town, Logical Helicopter 952 on Reddit is trying to rehome some chickens.
Okay, good. Nice. Yeah, I know that the extension office at the Butterfly House, they're working on this plan. It's not the Butterfly House because it's a building with a bunch of different organizations. It's not just for the butterflies, just so you guys know. But they have an extension office through MSU Extensions. They're working on an emergency plan for relocating animals, especially livestock, chickens, as a form of emergency housing, especially in the event of a fire.
Oh,
and so
okay.
that is one thing that people should kind of know. That I don't know how far they are in this one, but I heard about this about a year and a half ago. Some of the things and resources they're trying to look into, and it's definitely the first time I learned that there's so many farms and just small ranches just in the Missoula County area, and even in some of the closest parts of Missoula City.
Yeah.
So just food for thought for a lot of folks looking for the kind of spaces. And I know that the city allowed for even more some kind of animals for your within the city limits, but there are some temporary things when it comes to 4-H and FFA, Future Farmers America, all that kind of stuff. And they have some additional things for people who want to like raise other kinds of animals there as a form of education, but it's temporary. So you want to look into the laws a little bit more cleaner because they opened it a little bit more, but they were preventing any kind of like goats, pigs, cows, and those kind of endeavors as well. So something to look into as well. But yeah, chickens.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think there's a limitation. They don't allow roosters at all.
Right.
That's
right.
a big thing.
Because of the noise.
Because of the noise.
Yeah.
Yep. That was definitely one of the bigger concerns because there was a lot of back and forth with the city of Missoula on that one. And speaking of the city of Missoula, they've had a whole lot of back and forth for the Midtown Commons with citizens of the Franklin to the Fort neighborhood, especially near the area next to the Southgate Mall, behind Bob Ward's and Sons, which is this new development via Miramonte, is the developer that the city is working with to essentially. They acquired some land through MRA funds, TIF funding, to kind of reverse and change this land into something that is going to be developed over 200 units for housing. Mixtures of condos, townhouses, and stuff. They finally got their final approval last week. Many of the people's biggest concerns was they're building urban sprawl in a more kind of smaller neighborhood kind of area in that particular space. City is striking when the iron's hot. They're thinking of a big picture of big population stuff. And then the last meeting, they had a 5-hour meeting. Wow. And a big chunk of that was devoted to reassuring the folks that the cottonwood trees are near their end of their life. But it was kind of interesting listening to like some of the people giving public comment on that. And I'm not just trying to dissuade anyone from one side or another, but the cottonwood argument was something that I did not see coming, especially towards the end, the final 11th hour of things.
Right.
So there's some interesting things, dynamics going on right there, and I really feel it was definitely one of those Hail Mary attempts to try to get something to stop the development.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, one of the bigger things happening in Missoula, of course, right now is the big bad data center that's happening in Bonner, which I see that they're doing the consolidated planning board for the county on July 1st, which is the first Wednesday of July. So they're going to be doing that inside the Sophie Marie room at the Missoula County Courthouse at 6 p.m. So mark your calendar for that. That's a big push for that. They're going to have advisory boards who are going to determine whether or not this data center is up to code and reasonable because it is within a 500-foot radius of their Bonner school, which is why they have to go through this process. Because if there wasn't any issues with the Bonner school or anything like that, they would have just done it anyways. So that's what we're definitely facing with. And I also wanted to mention is that I also noticed that on the Reddit too, somebody posted that Erin Brockovich, the lady, she's an environmentalist lawyer. They made a movie about her with I can't think of her name. Who was the actress who played Erin Brockovich, who also played a Pretty Woman?
I don't know.
Jeez.
Let me see.
Sandra Bullock. No. Oh my God, I'm terrible.
I'm looking it up right now.
You're gonna look at it? Okay. Anyways,
I'll look it up right now.
the real Erin Brockovich has now targeted AI data centers, and she started her own website that essentially maps out all the data centers. Julia Roberts. God, somebody listening were just like screaming it in the radio. Julia Roberts! Pretty woman, my best friend. My best friend's wedding.
These guys do nothing but talk about movies. How do they not know this?
Exactly. Well, it's stream of consciousness. But regardless of that, Erin Brockovich is doing a whole thing about data centers, and she's pursuing legal actions against this and trying to get some data and also a lot of statistics online for this particular one to talk about, water, air quality, heat islands, those kind of issues when it comes to implementing these unregulated infrastructure things. So it is interesting to kind of see how they're growing this dynamic as well. But some interesting news happened over the weekend that you mentioned. There was a major car chase.
Yes. I have found almost no information about it.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, but it sounds like it was basically citywide, including a police car impacting a house off of England Boulevard.
Yeah, I saw those posts online on Reddit. It was insane to see that.
I haven't seen it saying that anyone was hurt.
Right.
So that's good.
Right.
But it sounds like it was pretty chaotic yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's like when you think about it like this, you can always run away from the police, but you can't stay away from the police.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like
you can run, but you can also hide, but they might find you.
They'll find you anyways. Yeah. It always happens. Yeah. Like you have to go to a restaurant, you have to go to a place to get food anyways. Yeah. And,
and when it doesn't happen, you never hear about it.
Exactly. Like you can DoorDash a police officer right to your door, essentially. Yeah. So yeah, there's just a lot of Anyways, that's kind of what happened over the weekend. Memorial Day still happening today. People are probably just going to be traveling back this afternoon after a nice long vacation, maybe on the lake or something like that. What is the best kind of vacation for Memorial Day in your mind?
I've never really done vacations for Memorial Day.
I know.
Usually because I'm at MizCon.
Right, and they're not doing it. They're not doing it in a Memorial Day weekend anymore. They're doing it in June.
Yeah, which is.
I don't actually know the date. It is definitely departure, but I think it's the only dates they could get.
Yes, it was what worked out with the fairgrounds, their new venue.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy because there's so much more elbow room in that area.
Oh yeah.
It makes the venue look way different in dynamics and everything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be happening sometime in the next couple weeks.
See, a good little trip, maybe going up to the lake.
Yeah, that's always the Memorial. It's a weekend trip, nothing fancy, maybe one night over, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be like the prevailing Memorial Day trip.
Yeah.
Is just go to a lake or something.
Yeah.
Touch water.
Fly ahead, maybe go to Lake Como.
That's true. I can't imagine all the lakes just being bombarded with a bunch of people just going to the town.
Yeah.
Especially this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are doing the radio.
Yeah.
Trying to get some hours.
Yeah. We didn't actually have to come in today.
We did it for you, the listener.
We did it for you, the listener.
The listeners. I don't know if there's anything opening for lunch today, speaking of lunch.
Yeah. I don't know what's open and what's not.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to go to the tool library at Mud later, and I don't even know if they'll be open.
Yeah, that's a good point, honestly.
Yeah.
And a lot of places just in general in Missoula are not open on Sundays or Mondays.
That's true.
And sometimes
a lot of places
Tuesdays.
Have been closing Sundays, Mondays.
They just doing their surplus days, which is like most of the time it's like Tuesdays through Saturdays, or even in some cases Wednesdays through Saturdays, just based on the kind of hours they can be open.
Speaking of restaurants, I've seen some talk on the Missoula subreddit about people wanting to avoid restaurants that use Cisco foods.
Cisco foods?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that like microplastics, all that kind of stuff?
I think that might be part of it.
Yeah.
Somebody linked a whole video essay on it in the subreddit.
Yeah, and then also wanted to mention too, this is something that's been brought up at city council meetings the last couple of times, was the idea that using pesticides in our parks.
Oh yeah.
A lot of citizens are concerned about the concept of weed and feed, Roundup, especially because of the recent study that happened in Iowa with the so-called cancerous chemical glyphosate, which is a cancerous thing that causes non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh.
So it's been linked to cause that. So that was the thing about some of the public comments that are bringing up awareness to this, and I think that had a lot to do with the turf, the artificial turf that was being proposed, and they're worried about the idea of that potentially being washed out into the river, and especially when it comes to proximity of the Clark Fork River. And not decrying the kind of cost-effective measures that the baseball field is trying to do, but there's definitely needs to be some more foresight when it comes to how we build and how we do, parks and grass and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the convenience of just having artificial turf and not having to maintain it. Makes sense, right? But then at the same time, what are the things what are some of the costs associated with the long term?
Yeah.
So.
Let's see.
Trying to be as unbiased as I can be.
In the Missoula subreddit, somebody complaining about Amazon drivers, and I've actually got one for this.
Okay.
And that's like, I I live with in a building that was a house turned into apartments, right? And so I've got a walk-up apartment.
Tale as old as time for a lot of Missouri residents.
Right, exactly. And there's 2 other walk-up apartments, and then there's the more internal units, right?
Yep.
Without fail, the packages just show up to my front door.
Yep, you're the
no
front door.
matter the apartment number. It's like, hey, there's a 1 on my door.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy to think about.
I'm not apartment 2.
Yeah.
I'm not apartment 6.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm lucky that my neighborhood is it is kind of tricky to a certain degree, which leads up to the hidden in plain sight kind of thing,
Right.
which is a nice advantage too. But you know, it is hard for a lot of people, especially the exploited workforce that is Amazon workers.
True, absolutely.
And they can only do what they can do, what they're trained for, and then within a year or 2, they might just lose their job because they start losing efficiency based on the calculated model in which they're just fired via text.
Yep.
So there's a lot of that just happening. And if you're lucky to be working at an Amazon warehouse as a driver for more than 3 years, ooh, that clock is ticking. Who knows how much longer you're going to have that just based on the whims of Amazon's algorithm. Yeah. I'm just hearing all sorts of things about that too, but you know, that's what I've seen. All right. What other things are going on? I also wanted to give a shout out to the University of Montana. They did their symphony orchestra, and we also have it on our MCAT's YouTube page. So we're going to throw it over to some music for you guys instead of just playing people talking and us talking.
Whoa, talking.
All right, so that was the University of Montana's Symphony Orchestra. They're doing Scenes, Perosk by Jules Massenet. Oof, oof. Man, pronouncing them. It's probably easier said than read. Have you ever had those names where you're just like, oh, so that's how you pronounce it? Then you read them like, huh?
Yes.
Honestly, there should be a competition. It's just like, can you read this?
So, Scott, are you going to go see the Mandalorian and Grogu
Nah.
in theaters?
No.
In theaters now?
No. Star Wars, meh.
I heard it already made back its budget, but it also doesn't sound like it had a very high budget.
I mean, I heard the budget was like $120 million or something like that.
Hey, as far as a Disney production, that's not very high.
Yeah, I know. They spent like $350 million or whatever. I don't know how much. I think they spent like $500 million, if not more, for the Avengers Endgame thing.
Yeah. Whatever happened to like the $20 million comedy movie?
The $20 million comedy movie?
Yeah, just as a staple of Hollywood.
Well, they still kind of kept doing them for many years, and then they got into smaller platforms, and they just kind of lost obscurity because for some reason it just like the appeal, and it is unfortunately the viewers' fault for not showing up for those movies.
Yeah.
And so by committee, they probably got together. It's like, hey, we're not making money off these. Let's get rid of them. Which is why horror movies now are being targeted for their directors. All these kind of original
it's
ideas.
a great way to break into the to the industry.
Speaking of which, Backrooms this Friday.
Yeah,
Woo, woo,
yeah.
woo. Excited for
Directed
that.
by Kane Parsons.
So premiering at the Roxy Theater this Friday, you got the Backrooms, which is based on a video game called Escape the Backrooms.
Actually, based on not based on the video game. No.
Not at all?
No. So the Backrooms started as just an obscure internet post that was
Gotcha.
like, hey, what if you fell out of reality and there was just like a bunch of rooms and carpets? That'd be pretty messed up, right?
Yeah.
And then that caught fire. That went viral. So then you got fan games.
Okay.
You got fan animations like the Kane Pixels ones, which went on to, made by, at the time, teenager Kane Parsons.
Okay.
Who went on to direct this movie.
Yes, and he did the route of going to YouTube posts, videos, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Directed his own little mini shorts, very much like the people who did the movie Shazam. And then also, I mean, heck, look at Zach Krager. You know, he has the Widest Kids You Know as a backbone for all his stuff, and he was an actor for most of it.
Yeah.
And he's going into the new, he did the Weapons movie. He did Barbarian. That was his kickoff movie, and horror has always been a kickoff for a lot of people.
yeah.
Like Jordan Peele, Get Out, Steven Spielberg, Jaws. I mean, it wasn't coined as a horror film, but I gotta say, a lot more people are afraid of sharks now because of Steven Spielberg. So that's a pretty big horror film right there.
Did you know that Steven Spielberg directed the first episode of Columbo?
Did he?
Yeah, I watched the first episode and then I went, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good thing. That's a pretty good thing because I know that Quentin Tarantino, despite his near perfect filmology, he's directed TV shows as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even just random, just weird TV shows just out of the blue. I think
Well, and directing a TV show is different than directing a movie. It's a lot more procedural.
It is procedural. Where so
You
you
know.
come in, maybe you give a couple
It's more
actors.
technical,
It's
you
very
know?
technical, and you have the producers, all the teams that are already there doing the jobs. The director can focus on maybe upping the acting and the prestige of the program. But for the most part, if they're just looking to get some gambling money, they just have to pop on one of those shows.
Anyway, TV shows, I'm available.
Hey, you never know. Maybe this directorial debut will be your big time to shine, and maybe do a couple projects for Storyhouse here in town.
Maybe.
Yeah, or Treasure State Studios taps you and be like,
Maybe I'll decide it's finally time to open my indie animation studio.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I've got some ideas.
And you got some animators that you know
Yeah.
just off the top of your head, honestly.
Give me money.
And you know, anytime you launch a business or anything like that, you know, like you can get loans and get things
Loans and
going and get the
grants
ball rolling.
Yeah.
And you know that's the nice thing about America too, is that you can start an LLC, and most people in Montana start really cheap LLCs at like what, $35
$35
for a page and a half of documentation to establish your business.
Yeah.
And then you can put all your assets into that LLC from that. And then if your business goes completely gone, then the LLC can just kind of go away.
Yeah,
So
which
it's-
is why I own shell corporations that own shell corporations that own military contractors.
Yeah, you never know. It's kind of crazy because if you ever watch the War Dogs movie, it's very confusing for the most part. But how they shoehorned their way into basically weapons deals with the U.S. government at the time. They're up and starters who did it too. So it's kind of crazy to think about the way that they went about doing it, and then they essentially frauded the system by essentially using a Scandinavian country to move bullets in a different box, and that's it. They just white labeled bullets and sold it back to the United States government.
That reminds me of a story. I forget which gun it was, but basically some guys, they just designed their own homemade rifle.
Wow.
Right, and they entered it into like the bidding process for the military, right?
Right.
And they won. They were like, yeah, we like this rifle. It works well. The price is right. And so they came by these people's garage where they built it to make sure that they weren't just building it out of a garage. Just like, yeah, we just had to check if you guys like actually had legit production, or if you're just some guys building guns.
Which is true, because one could even say that's the same thing about this next story. I mean, I've talked to you about this a couple of bits, but there's a shoe company called Allbirds that turned their company into AI stock. Essentially, they literally just changed the name to be like, we're going to be an AI company now.
Well, we do shoes, but now we're AI.
No, because according to Forbes, this article came out in April. This has been a while.
Yeah, I think I heard about this one.
Exactly, and so part of this is like the company surged 600% just in a single session from basically $2.49 per share to $24.30 per share, just because they went to the AI.
Wow.
It's crazy to think about. Should you just say AI or whatever and then get some things? Because that's the thing about when you get an assessed in value in your company, is that you now are given a larger line of credit to be able to use to invest in things.
Have you been seeing all the graduation videos from different graduations?
Yes, they've been going around like crazy.
AI, and then just get booed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Steve Wozniak was like, AI, because you guys have actual intelligence.
Right, he did do that one, yeah.
Because he knew, he heard from the other things, were just like, I know what's going on. I'm reading what's happening in these kids. They're leaving college and are probably not going to get the jobs that they wanted. And that's the buy-in.
Yep.
And the buy-in is going to college. You're going to get a good job after college. That makes sense, right? But then when you start buying into something and then you don't have a job, that's when, unfortunately, revolutions actually start. Is you have a highly educated population with no purpose. What purpose are they going to get into? Probably politics. Probably be the heir with the government. So if they're not happy, they get a little punchy. Who knows? You know, it's the young. They're ambitious. They have the energy, all that kind of stuff. And everyone's like, "Oh, the youth. They're so wrong." And I was like, "No, I'm very hopeful for the youth. They're very intelligent. They're on it.
Well,
they know there's nihilism for sure."
I sometimes feel like I was promised an America that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a very quotable quote right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just sit in that for a while.
That's You're listening to 101.5 KFGM.
We're a Missoula Community Radio, so if you are interested in spreading ideas of your very own, you can log on to 1015kfgm.org, Missoula Community Radio, to learn more about how you can start your own radio program. It is a great distribution for local and also online as well for people who want to do a podcast and tap into live radio. So yeah, join that, do all that kind of stuff. We have another program courtesy of MCAT. So all these programs and all these audio clips we've been playing for you is courtesy of MCAT, which is Missoula Community Access Television, otherwise known as Missoula's Community Media Resource. We're here located at the first floor of the Missoula Public Library at 455 East Main Street. And here is the Missoula Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony for 2026. And so we're going to play a clip of that.
And when a tragedy occurs, the loss reaches far beyond any one department or any one community. It leaves a permanent mark on families, colleagues, agencies, and the entire state. Despite this bleak reality, we must remain hopeful. I feel hope from all of you and from your profession. I see the way you support each other, your continued dedication to the oath you swore, and the pride you have in serving your communities. At a time when it is easy to feel discouraged, you all remind me that there are still people willing to carry the heavy weight and serve others. So thank you for all you do and for all you are to the state of Montana. When I consider the impact of law enforcement, I think of a Maya Angelou quote. She said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Even after your shift is over and you are home safe, people remember how you made them feel. We remember the officer who responded when we called and we were afraid, and we remember the officer who treated us with dignity, respect, and compassion. Thank you for meeting the demands of this profession with courage and selflessness. Finally, thank you for coming here this evening to recognize the sacrifices of those who came before you and for being willing to make sacrifices yourself so we can ensure that our communities are safe, our citizens feel protected, and Montana is a place we are all proud to call home."
I mean, I really liked
Thank you.
Mold Shadow Lord. It looked so good.
All right, we are back, and so that was a little excerpt from the Missoula Law Enforcement Memorial Ceremony for 2026. We're about the last 10 minutes of our episode. Is there anything else we want to talk about? We did want to talk about Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro.
So Final Cut Pro is a program that we edit with here at MCAT through our Macs. We also have Premiere Pro, and much like Premiere Pro, looks like Final Cut Pro is doing a subscription-based model moving forward.
Yes, of course. For now, you can still purchase a perpetual license, but there's speculation that they might drop that at some point.
Yeah, so the big deal with this comes at the fact that when you buy something, you should keep something. Now it seems like Adobe's influence with perpetual money making has resulted in subscription-based models when it comes to editing. It's like, well, not everyone edits every single day, so we want to make sure, I don't know. It's such a weird thing to kind of do in this late stage of almost 14 years of Final Cut 10 plus updates.
That's true.
It's one of the few apps online that has been consistently updated. Probably one of my favorite updates that they ever did was the 360 video. So they have a monitor that allows you to manipulate 360 video, and you can still do the flat video.
Yeah.
It's essentially you're getting all your angles in one shot. It's a brilliant way of doing it.
I love the multicam editor.
Yes.
And I also love the magnetic mask tool.
Yes, the magnetic mask is
So
something
good.
that you've been really harping on, really big part of this. And we used it quite a bit in our Star Wars A New Hope parody video that we did with the kiddos last spring break.
Yeah. That was a fun one.
Yeah, it was a fun one. The space battle was definitely one of the better, well-animated ones overall. For sure, yeah. And then, we did some bad MS Paint looking backgrounds.
Yeah.
But, we just used an online resource. We did a weird draw online. It was Draw.io or something.
It was a Photopea.
Photopea, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of tracing of previous scenes, making it look as close as it can to the Star Wars A New Hope. We just basically looked at the pictures and did what we could do.
Kind of traced over them in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And I really like how it turned out. You guys can watch the Spring Break, otherwise known as Spring Flicks, on our MCAT YouTube page. It is a great resource, and I really love the intro for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of great things happening at MCAT. We got all these classes, podcasting lessons, editing lessons. So for anybody who's interested in Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, I'm not too averse at DaVinci Resolve, even though that it's very similar to all those other apps.
The basic editor is just fine.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of extra tools, ones that I need to learn more, like
Exactly.
their Fairlight audio editing.
Yeah.
Because that's in depth.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because DaVinci Resolve, from what I've seen, is very much like they reverse engineered a color corrector app into an editor.
Yeah, they just kept adding features,
And they just decided, it's like, we'll just make an editor. And Blackmagic, the company as a whole has basically bridged the gap between Nikon and Canon as tools for, mounted lenses and different kind of
We're using
features.
Blackmagic's Pocket Cinema 6K for our movie. It's a bit of a dated platform at this point.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It's a great camera.
It is an amazing camera. It looks good, takes great photos, just really clean and crisp overall. I definitely highly recommend as the entry-level professional folks who want to get some beautiful footage.
Yeah. Or even check out the 6K full frame or Pixis even.
Yeah, I mean, heck, even like a lot of public access stations are doing how to make movies with your iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah.
Shot on iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with 30 Years Later, that movie, based on the 30 Days Later.
Right.
Was it 30 Days Later?
There's 28 days later.
28, sorry, 28 years later. Man, what am I thinking about? I was thinking about maybe that vampire 30 Days of Night. But yeah, great horror movie, by the way. 30 Days of Nights, love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Highly recommend it to anybody who's just like, wow, this is crazy. And it just gets crazier. It's one of those like sleeper hit movies that nobody really watched in theaters, but people love.
Well, I'll tell you what my horror movie is going to do different from a lot of modern film. My composer isn't going to have any temp tracks to compose over. So, have you ever wondered why film scores started to sound samey?
Yeah.
It's because of nonlinear video editing.
Oh.
It's because, you could bring in like, oh, here's an action scene. I'll just pull in the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack briefly, and then the composer can come in and make something that sounds similar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense when you think about it.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm letting my composer be creative.
Every time I think about a composer in a movie, I think of Peter Siegel and I Love You, Sarah Marshall. Whereas there's the scene where he's like playing the piano, and because he dated the star of a TV show that everyone loves in that universe.
I just watched that movie recently.
Yeah, forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes.
Like he's just playing the piano. He's sad and he's making goofy sounds for the music while she's doing her thing because he still has to work with his ex-girlfriends. And then he does this weird vampire
Can you make it
play at the end. And he does a Fringe Festival Dracula puppet play at the end.
Yeah.
And now he's doing
well, because the actor.
Yes.
He loves the Muppets.
Yes.
Which is why he was in when they started making Muppet movies again.
And then they made the Muppets Most Wanted. He wasn't a part of that, and everyone's like, no. I was like, maybe, but no.
And then they did the Muppets Office.
Yes,
show.
They did 30 Rock inspired.
Oh, is it 30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much 30 Rock wannabe.
Okay.
Give it a chance. There's some good parts of it, but they tried too hard to be risque for what it's worth.
Honestly, at this point, Disney should just be making more like parodies of their own movies with the Muppets.
They really could.
Yeah.
They really should. Like I'm.
I'd watch Muppet Star Wars.
All I know is that Jennifer Lawrence and Emma Stone is teaming up with a Muppet movie with the Miss Piggy, and I want it to be exactly a shot-for-shot remake of The Devil Wears Prada with Miss Piggy as the titular character. I have not seen Devil Wears Prada, mind you, although I do love Meryl Streep.
Kirby.
I still have not seen Devil Wears Prada, and I don't really plan to see it. I don't know. It just never really, It's like, oh, so people are just being mean to each other in corporate America. Oh, whoa. Okay, anyways.
Oh, what else is new?
What else is new in corporate America? But anyways, we have another clip for you guys to end our show. This is from the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, another one of the university concerts. So we did 2 of them. So we're going to wrap up our show, and thanks for listening to MCAT Radio. I'm Scott.
And I'm Neil.
Here, do you want to put this in the other room? Sure. For Reanimal.
Now I also gotta go buy a vintage message telephone from where Josh works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's there till later. So.
Okay. Yeah. Is he working today, you think?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He messaged me.
I always feel like I want to think Memorial Day is like over, but not.